Greetings and welcome to Storytime with Angel. Today, Kristina Skye is going to read out of our Shamanic Leadership book, and she is reading Emoke Molnar's chapter. Emoke is one of the apprentices in our Nina Songo apprenticeship program and part of our massage therapy community as well. Kristina, you can say what the name of the chapter is and all that jazz.
Okay. All right. So this is chapter 13 in our Shamanic Leadership book, which begins on page 142 in this edition. It is called Transformation Through Touch. When you are ready, your timeline will shift. And yes, I'm going to read for Emoke today, so I hope I do her justice. My story. It was my turn to receive. I had everything under control. I started to enjoy the pain, then everything shifted. Here I am again on a different level. I have lost control, and I'm screaming my lungs out for help. You reach a certain point in your life when you know it is time to make a decision. I remember the day when I decided to follow my intuition and chose to learn something new. I signed up for a holistic massage course, knowing I needed to take action and show up. I signed up without even thinking. I did not take the time to see what I had signed up for. I did not read the instructions on what to bring to class. I just knew when to show up. I was not prepared for what was to come. I arrived at the class. Butterflies were dancing in my stomach. What am I supposed to do? What's going to happen? We were asked to share about ourselves, and at that moment, I had no idea what to say. Oh my God, will they be able to understand me? Is my English good enough? Who are all these people? Why do we have to share? I don't want to share. What the hell have I signed up for? I started to see my classmates with different eyes as they shared from their hearts. Clearly, they knew what they signed up for. These souls gathered in this space were courageous, full of love, and wished to be in service, as did I. I started to feel a shift in the air. My eyes locked with the man sitting across the circle from me. I know you'll be my first partner. I smiled as we were paired. I wonder how many more times this is going to happen this week, I thought as he started to practice on me. My childhood memories started to poke into my consciousness as he worked through the teachings. What is that mark on your head? Are you strong enough to wear the name they're calling you? Your mind is endless. I see the gypsy woman who told me I am marked. I see my mother throwing my tarot decks into the fire. Who am I? Why am I thinking about all these things? Am I a witch, as the gypsy woman said? As the lesson continued, I didn't have time to integrate what I had just experienced. Now the tables had turned, and I was the one giving the massage. I began to relax and enjoy the process of learning, and I was utterly amazed at how complex our bodies are. I wanted to absorb the teachings from these masters, even though I didn't understand what was happening. My turn on the table again? Not sure how I feel about this. There I was, back on the table, the first in the class to start crying. I'm so embarrassed. I don't want to cry. I'm so emotional. I can't wait for this day to be over. Will my warrior survive this? My partner was massaging my knees, and I was thrust back in time to my father's funeral. Why am I back at my father's funeral? What am I doing here? There is death all around me. Breathe, breathe. I heard the teacher step in and whisper in my ear. Come back, she whispered, as she called me back to the present. I was safe. I did not need to fear death here. The poor guy working on me had no idea what was happening. With the second day over, I was happy and relaxed. I survived day 2. I would not be so lucky the next day. I did not survive day 3. I'm losing my legs. Who's putting hot stones on my legs? Why isn't anyone helping me? I feel myself leaving my body, and I witness my anguish from the corner of the ceiling. What is happening? There are 5 people around the massage table. Someone is dying on the table, and nobody is helping. Does that person have no soul? Wait a minute, that's me. That's my body. I must go back to it. How do I get back to it? Help me before I lose my legs, I begged my teacher. Something is on my legs. There's nothing on your legs. Just breathe, 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 she says, as I feel myself drop back into my body. I open my eyes to witness my teachers surrounding me. I'm so confused. I don't understand what is happening. I feel an energy with a purple light rushing through my body, trying to kill me. Is this the end of my life? Screaming, crying, God, stop it before I die. Finally, I get a minute to breathe and rest into full bliss as my body starts to surrender. I allow my muscles to sink into the bed as my heart and breath slow down into stillness. Suddenly, my senses become heightened as paralysis takes over my body. Wait, what's happening? Oh no, here it comes again. My breath quickens as the purple wave hits me again, ripping up my spine and out of the top of my head. I'm on fire. This roller coaster of energy dominates me. I am burning alive. I can't catch my breath. I have nothing left to scream with. The burning sensation courses through my body, is both strange and familiar. I think to myself, is my blood boiling in my veins? Am I being boiled alive? At the same time, my body is floating on the bed. Finally, I trust and surrender to the process. I let the energy take over, and I enjoy the ride. That day, I let everything go on that table. I understood nothing was in my hands anymore. As the class ended on that memorable third day and everyone slowly left our sacred space, I rested in the stillness, not wanting to move. Before I left, one of the teachers slipped a folded piece of paper into my hand, and when I finally opened the paper, the words Kundalini Awakening were scribbled on it. I left the class glad to see the sun as I walked home. How did I get home? How did I unlock my door? Who put the clothes on my floor? What is a Kundalini Awakening? I went to bed feeling tired and happy. I got another chance to live. I woke up in the middle of the night, terrified. I was experiencing the same energy that was present in class today, but now the energy came with a blinding white light. I was scared to be alone in my place with the thoughts in my mind. I am alone here. I will die this time, and nobody will know. I surrendered to the experience and chose to face whatever shadows showed up. I started to feel my body. Am I dreaming? Am I in life? Am I dead? The experience had me questioning everything in life. I chose to get up and shift the energy. As I drank my water, my attention turned to the paper on my table that my teacher handed me. I remembered what Kundalini Awakening meant. I had never heard of it before. I found all the information that resonated with my experience, but left me with even more questions. The next day, I experienced a shift. I was no longer counting the days anymore, as I had let control go and enjoyed the energy I was receiving instead. Everyone wanted to know what happened and what I felt, but I had no words for them. I only wished for all of them to have the same experience I had. I did not sleep for days, lost in my new little world. On the last day of the course, we were asked to invite someone we could work on for the exam. I asked one of my friends to come and be my first victim. The massage was going well when suddenly I noticed that all my teachers were in my room. Why are you all here? Is something going to happen? The massage is almost over. I asked my friend to flip over on her back so I could work on her belly. I was overwhelmed with emotion and I started to cry. Angel appeared beside me and put her hand on top of mine, pressing it into my friend's belly. Look at me. You can do it. You got this. She steps back and I hear Angel's voice. You can do it. I felt stronger and understood. Yes, I can do it. I stopped crying, grounded myself, and the energy shifted. My friend started to have an emotional release as I maintained the pressure on her belly. I stayed present with her, as that's what I needed when I went through the same thing earlier. I knew she was dealing with her stuff, and I knew I wouldn't leave her while she was doing it. It didn't take long for her to surrender and trust the process. I couldn't believe I was witnessing my friend having an emotional release right before my eyes. I then realized you can control anything, no matter how strong or not you think you are. She started to take a deep breath. What happened? I don't remember, she questioned, dropping back into her body. Holding her hand, I shared with her, you were ready to let some things go. She felt light and happy after our session was over. Thank you for being there for me, Emoke, she replied. It was an intense experience to hold space and facilitate my first emotional release while being assisted by Angel. I felt happy and strong, knowing I had someone who could step in and help. Since that day, my life has shifted in amazing ways and different directions. I never thought I would be serving humanity the way I am today. The deep work I learned and experienced within that course helped me to see and understand more about the human body, energy, and emotional blockage. This modality allowed me to gain deeper connections with a higher spirit and the universe. Many thanks to my teachers for having the patience to help me understand how to trust my intuition. I appreciate them for pushing me through the leftover residual blockages and helping me start my new journey. After completing the course, I felt the calling for my new life to start. I started doing massages, and a whole new world opened up for me. One surprise after another became my normal. I stepped into the flow of my new life. I still don't always understand what's happening through my touch and what I'm able to do. I choose to follow my intuition, and with pure intention, I know that I can trust it. I became curious about energy work and did some Reiki courses to have more understanding of what I was doing. I always stayed connected with my teachers in case I had questions. One day, Angel and I decided to exchange a massage. She came to my space, and while facilitating her massage, I had a vision, a feeling. I felt the door open, and someone came into the room and stood by the door. As I was describing this presence, how it looked, what it was wearing, and what it was saying, she just listened. "This is interesting," she replied. This spirit stayed there the whole time, as if it was assisting my job or holding space for her. As I was finishing, the spirit left. After the massage, she pulled out her phone and showed me a person who was one of her mentors. Wow, she was exactly who I saw. "Isn't it interesting? I don't know how that could happen," I exclaimed. "Emoke, not all humans with long hair are females," Angel replied. "What is happening? I do not understand. How is this possible to see them? What do they want? Why are they here?" "How far are you with your Reiki training?" Angel asked. "I'm ready for my master attunement, as I'm doing more than I have ever imagined. I'm ready. Let's do it." The day came and we made our way up the side of the dormant volcano at the edge of the city. Listening to the call of the sacred space, I found a ridge within a rock that could be used as a chair. I got comfortable, and Angel started the ritual. I found myself following the wind to my childhood graveyard in Transylvania. I was participating in a ceremony with my relatives on Hallows Eve. I was visiting the deathbeds of my deceased relatives and celebrating them with prayer and candlelight when I heard Angel calling my name. As I dropped back into my body, I remembered being surrounded by shamans. Then an eagle's eye came right to my face, to my eye, and blinked into my soul. Angel translated what I did into words I understood. We shared deep conversations about what a channel is and about tools to help us open our channel. We hold all the keys within. She encouraged me to trust and to keep going, to not be afraid, and the right help will always show up when you need it. I kept sharing my gifts, and it gets easier to tune in and receive more guidance. The teachings were deep, and I went through a spiritual awakening during this process. I learned to let things go, and now I understand the benefits this work has for your health and body. It is an amazing feeling to be able to help others on their own journey of transformation. Finally, I understand when the student is ready, the right teacher will show up. The medicine. We are taught how to be mad, resentful, how to hold on to these negative emotions and other things that no longer serve us. We hang on to people and experiences from long ago that don't exist in our world anymore. We have never been taught how to let things go. Letting things go is not easy. It's a lot of work. It's our life's work. It never ends, but it's worth every minute when we decide we want to change our lives. The medicine is in you. We can't change anything or anybody except our own thoughts, patterns, and our view of life. As soon as a trigger shows up, here are a few questions to ask yourself. What are you holding on to? Why are you holding on to it? Where do you feel the pain? Is the pain familiar? Let all the answers come to you. Experience them with emotion and stay with yourself as you process the experience that shows up. Forgive yourself and the experience. Let it go. If you wait, it will be harder to do later. You'll feel amazing the minute things shift and will want to continue doing it. As you start to teach your body, heart, and mind to let go, it gets easier. You will want to see what's behind all the doors of your soul. You will want to clean out all the doors that does not serve you because you will begin to understand you do not need it. Waiting can have detrimental effects on your health. From my own experience, the first breakthrough is the hardest. Then you're gifted with the key to unlocking your heart and soul. Having experienced true transformation myself, I know how hard it is to let things go. We create different voices for the underlying issues that keep us stuck. People wait too long to release their pain. There is no point in holding anger, grief, or pain anymore. Stop the addiction to suffering. Most of us are never lucky enough to meet someone who can help us see and realize all the garbage we're carrying. I am grateful for the teachers who walked with me on my path and gave me the tools to now help others. I'm encouraging you to be open and curious. Be open to a change in your life and be willing to receive the help you deserve. I know the usual is so convenient, even if it's painful, because the unknown is so scary. But are you really happy with the life you have right now? As soon as you're ready for the unknown, it will show itself to you, and it is beautiful. The end.
The end. It was very interesting for me to be present for you reading that. That was like 6 years ago.
Was it
7
6 years ago?
7 years ago? Not
No.
2019. That experience
Oh,
was
the experience. I thought you meant writing it.
No.
Emoke writing.
No, the experience is 2019, and, um you know, one of the benefits of the gifts that I have is that I can go right back into that space, and so, like, I was reliving it,
Yeah.
going back into that container and reliving it as you were saying it, and because it's so descriptive and I was there and part of it, man, to feel that energy sit back in my body, that was a very profound experience. Yeah, and the going up the volcano and, giving her the Reiki attunement, um, and, it's so linear when you say Reiki attunement, but that's not all I was doing, clearly. Um, when the eagles come, that's not Reiki. Right, that's we use these words to try to label the energy that we're using to make humans understand. There was a whole bunch of things going on top of that volcano. Um, yeah, wow. I haven't thought about those experiences in a long time. And today, even before we got on the call, which chapter should we read today? Like there was no conscious, this is what we're doing when we get online today. And that's what I love about the magic of our world. You're you're gifted what you need in the moment. And this morning, I needed to remember who the fuck I was. And that's not coming from an ego space
Or an eagle space, but anyway.
or an ego space. Yeah, 'cause I've had one of the hardest years of my life and having and have been in survival mode, taking care of myself, much less trying to take care of others. So, and those were some of my peak times before I made some decisions to do a side quest to the States, right? And so to be reminded of my power and what I bring, and to the amazing humans that have said yes to this ride. It's humbling and a good reminder at the same time. So we picked the right one. You made me cry.
We
Thanks.
did pick the right one. And as I was reading it, I helped you to edit that chapter. We put a lot of time and effort into doing that
Yeah,
together, and that was really huge. Even, I mean, Amoki's story in itself is incredibly powerful and, is a mirror to a lot of things that I'm working through. But beyond that, revisiting that also brought up when we did edit that chapter.
yeah,
And there were some pretty intense hours put into that. And, and I feel like that was a part of our rebuilding our relationship as well.
exactly.
So yeah, yeah, it hits.
Yeah, yeah. So, whew, gotta love it with a little bit of story time also brings some tears.
I know. And whenever I read Amoki's words, I just think, like, all the times I've come out to visit you, and yet we've never arranged to meet up with Emoki. And I
Yeah.
think we need to do that.
Well, a lot of the times that you've come, she's been in Transylvania. Like
Mhm.
she travels
Yeah,
and spends a lot of time in her home country, um, which now I understand on a deeper level because when I went to the States, when I was, waiting for the green card, I was not allowed to come back to
yeah,
Canada for a year. 14 months. 14 months. 14 months I was forced to stay into the States. And you don't understand how important it is, those roots, where you biologically were birthed. Like you don't understand how important that space is until you leave it and then you're not allowed to go back. And so I say that, and my brain's correcting me right now. So I want to speak to it. I was always at choice, but breaking that law uh, could have potentially not ever let me back in the States again. And it definitely would have severed my relationship. And I sacrificed myself. I abandoned myself to stay in a storyline that wasn't healthy for me
yeah.
from the very beginning. From the very beginning. And I made choices. And recently, um, it has been mirrored back to me that you're always at choice. You're at choice. It's
But there
your
are
choice. You choose.
That's true, but there's always consequences. And when you're in that moment, you have to decide, are the consequences worth it or not? And in
And
that time, you decided what was right for you in that moment.
and when there's psychological abuse, you're not thinking with a clear brain, and that's when the manipulation happens. And it's so subtle, nobody catches it until you're suicidal. And then it's still, oh, but he's such a nice guy. Sitting here a year later, still having trouble working.
Mhm,
So, and yes, I can own that it was my choice, but there's certainly no responsibility being taken on the other side.
mhm.
So I appreciate the mirror, and it's funny how trauma works that I'd completely forgotten about it. So it does make sense. It does, there is something around where your attention goes is what happens in your life. So how do you shift your attention? And that's why I wrote this book, because it is different than the other one and it will shift my attention.
Yeah,
So thank you for agreeing to read that. Thank you for the little debrief after. Man, I wasn't expecting that, and what a gift. So
it was a pleasure to read Amoki's chapter.
see you next week.